Afternoon, everybody. Here we are again, Friday afternoon, and we're in July. So well over halfway through the year now, and we're still going strong, so that's good. Hope everybody's okay out there. Thought I'd go in today with something a bit different. I've gone with a slightly darker tile. I know we've got lots of them and we love using them, but yeah, I thought I'd go with it. I actually, as well, in front of me, I've got lots of tile swaps. The sort of overriding colour is I've got quite a lot of yellow tiles, plenty cream, but it's nice to see that you're inking some of them. We've got some tiny tiles on top of tiles coming in, and yeah, we're really impressed with what's coming in. So keep it up. You've got till the 5th of July to get yours in, so come on, you can do it. So what we're going to do today then, I've got a dark blue tile, and I'm going to obviously be using a white pen. That's what I've used to draw all these through it. But I've also got my regular pen, a tortillon and a regular pencil. And I've got my pastel pencils here, primarily for the white, but I might use another colour, see how I feel. So, okay, are we ready for this one then? Oh, okay, here we go. Now, I'm going to start with my, let me think, my white pen. Yeah, I'm going to come in with that. Okay, here we go. Now, of course, when you're using a white pen, just remember it takes a little bit longer to sort of get it to kick off. So you always want to try it on the back first. I want a bit of scrap. I have just used it to write my name, so it should be okay. But here we go. I'm going to come in and put in some dots. All right. Oh, Chris, I know. Oh, people were saying they were going to have Christmas in July. Yeah. All right. I know. Bit crazy, but that's okay. You can do what you like. It's entirely up to you. And of course, it's not going to be long, is it, till hopefully lockdown ends. All right. Now, I'm doing this freehand, but of course, if you want to, you could always come in and do it with a straight edge or something. Or again, if you want to do it with a black pen or a pencil, that's fine too. But I'm going straight in for it today with white. Okay. And straight down. Oh, and thank you for adding some comments under the pictures of the two dogs there. Yeah, they're all still soft and fluffy. I think Benji's always been soft and fluffy in the head. But yeah, they're lovely. Seth's still bright white. He's doing fine. He's a lot happier now he's had his hair cut. All right. Oh, Helen. There we go. So I've got my first border. Now again, I'm going to be a little bit crazy today. I'm going to go completely off piece and not use the pencil to put our first lines in. So I think if you're brave enough to do this with me, if not, you could always use a pencil if you want to. But I'm going to sort of imagine that's where the middle is. I'm going to come further out and I'm going to create a point or a curve going into that point there. You see, it's slightly sort of further on. The centre, there we go, going into that point, you see? Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I want to work towards this point, but this time, look, I'm going to come in from here. Now, it doesn't matter, you've not got to measure the space or anything. We're just, excuse me, we're just breaking it up a little bit. There we are. And doing the same again, so similar sort of size, I suppose. Doesn't have to be. I am being very careful not to rub over what I've already done. I know, Kathy. I've been a bit of a rebel today. But doesn't matter, it's just a tile. There we are. You see that one doesn't quite join, that's okay. I'm just going to come in and fill that in. There we go. All right. Okay. It's a bit different, isn't it? I mean, normally we would draw this in the middle first and then put the lines, but I want it to be a little bit different. I can do, it's my tile. Okay. And so I'm going to, let's just bring another line. You see, I'm going to work a bit of a way, about as the way to stop that. There we go. And then I'm just going to work it down and along. There we go. Okay. And then let's turn it back around. And similar thing from here all the way down to there. Okay. And turn it round. Absolutely, Chris. We sometimes think there is, but it isn't. It's nice to be different. There we go. And then the next one. And along. There we are. So we've got that kind of shape going on. All right. So next bit, I'm going to just work on here for, let's just take it a bit bigger now. Oh, no problem, Rose. It has gone up to the post office, so you should be getting that soon. There we are. See, I've just taken it and joined it along. Same again. And along there, and same on here. There we go. Yes, Chris, absolutely. Slow and steady with it. Okay, just let's have a look on this next bit. All right. So let's go up to there. And that's going all the way around to there. All right, so there's not been a particular plan. I'm not looking for a particular shape here. I just want to create something a little bit different that we can work with. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to a bit small. There we go. So we're not after a perfect shape with us in the middle. It was just something a little bit off that I thought, great. Okay. So let's work. Let's work centre outwards. I think so. I think that'd be a nice way to do it. So I'm going to imagine a grid. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of drawing little dots, I'm going to draw slightly bigger dots. There we go. So I'm going to get 3 in there. Now, if yours are a bit bigger and you can't get 3 in, not a problem. You put in as many as you can. Or if you want to go a little bit bigger, it's fine too. But notice that I am a little bit slower with the pen. So you just want to give it time to work. There you go. Okay, see, I'm not worried about it being in the middle or anything like that. So let's join them together. There we are. It's just something really magical, isn't it, about working with a white pen on a dark tile. It's lovely. There you are. And of course I'm going to get a little bit in there. There we go. And that one. Alright. Okay. There we are. And that one. So see, we've got this grid forming. There we go. Just to get that in there. Yeah. Okay. So let's make it a little bit larger. And I'm going to let's work with this one. I'm going to do an aura on the inside. Just to sort of give it a bit of a different shape, isn't it, there? Just working with what we're doing there. And of course I'm going to get a little bit of one there. Nothing much, but I'm still going to do it. And this one. So if you need to do the middle ones first, go ahead. It's just that sometimes you need to sort of get into your head what kind of pattern or its sort of shape it's forming, and then work on the smaller ones. Oh yeah. Okay. My postie actually thinks it's great that you're drawing on your envelopes. He's quite impressed. And I think it's actually, Not that he doesn't take care with the post, but I think he's taking extra care to get them through the letterbox, which is lovely. So what I've done is I've saved as many as I can of the envelopes, and I'm going to try and put them together in some sort of like a mosaic form, so we can just have a look at what everybody's been doing. I think that would be quite nice. Of course, it's on my list. It's on my list. There you are. Okay, so that's a little bit like we've done a grid, and we put squares in before, and this is something similar. It just shows that you don't have to go really technical with all the different tangles to get something of a bit of interest in there. So that's sort of our centre point. I'm going to focus now on these sort of points, or these curve points we've got. And again, I could bring in, I'm going to bring in some squares. So here we go. Just going to create one in the middle there, like a square-ish. And then let's do another one. You notice it's just getting a little bit smaller as I go along. There we go. A little bit smaller, and they're sort of going to start to go to lines and then smaller dots. There we are. A bit like a road. Okay, let's put one in this side as well. I'm going to have it sort of, so it looks like it's going underneath here. Just put another one there, and then another. Okay. All right. Let's turn it around again. And so it's going to do another one. So I'm going to start with the biggest and do a full shape there. Yeah. And then get a little bit smaller. So no rush, and it's just nice to actually put a little bit of white on, isn't it? It's nice to work with a pen when you know it's working really well. There we are, little dots. Okay. And again, same with this one. And of course, if you wanted to, you could change up the design. You don't have to use the same tangle all the way through. You could mix it with dots, or do dots and squares, or whatever you wanted to do. It's entirely up to you. There we go, so we're just getting smaller and smaller. And next one. Oh, I'm going to come back and do that in a bit. Getting all carried away doing the larger bits. I'm going to come back and fill those bits in a minute. Of course, it's just giving time for the pen to dry, because as you know, with a gel pen, it's going to smudge. There we are. Oh, Nadia, I hope you're feeling a bit better soon. Sometimes you have to just relax a little bit, you know, and your body's telling you it needs a rest. You've got to rest. Yeah, I had a bit of... I'm going to have a lie-in tomorrow. I decided I'm going to... Yeah, there we go. I've decided. Mind you, I suppose Benji will have other ideas. He does like to come and wake you up when he thinks it's time. There we go. Not because he wants to go out, just because he wants to be up with everybody else. There we go. Bit different, isn't it? All right, so back up again, and I'm just going to work in these sort of larger sections here. See, we've got some quite small sections and some of the larger ones. I'm going to sort of work on the larger. It doesn't matter which way around you do this. So I'm gonna start here. Doesn't matter again where you start. Bit of a line, and then another, and then another. Now, of course, if you're doing this with a regular black pen on a light tile, you'll notice that you're going to get more in. It's because I'm working with a thicker white pen. I'm not going to get as many in. There we go. Oh, look at that. All right, I'm going to just sort of turn it at an angle, and I'm going to do the same again. Okay, just take your time with it, no rush. we go. Now, of course, you can finish there, but I'm just going to make that go underneath that kind of way. Oh, white and metallics. Yeah, that'd be good. It's an excuse as well, I think, because we don't always get out our dark tiles. And it's so easy just to go for the regular cream, isn't it? Which are beautiful, but sometimes you think, do you know what, I just need a little bit of colour in my life. So let's try something a bit different. So you notice that I'm turning my tile each time, so I'm getting a different angle of each one of these little shapes that I'm putting in. I remember having a stencil like this years ago. I stenciled it all across the bathroom walls, making a border. What was that, 80s, 90s? I don't know. There we go, showing my age. Oh, Rose, if you've got a dark coloured tile, first thing you should do is go white. Use your white gel pen. And then once you've done that, you think, oh, do you know what? Add in a bit of silver and gold, or just do one with gold. Gold actually on a dark grey tile looks absolutely amazing. But start with a white pen and don't get too crazy with it. Just go with the basics and then build from there. These lovely little shapes, how they're forming. Again, don't forget, you don't want to be leaning over them, so move your tile accordingly. There we are. And once you've got your white pen working, because as we say, sometimes, you know, they seem to dry up on the end, so you just have to give it a bit of a scribble. They flow beautifully, and it's just so nice to work with them. Lindsay. Okay, so I'm going to choose, I'm just going to make it a bit bigger so you can see. Oh no, Leslie, I know, and her red tiles. Actually, Leslie, would you think a white pen with your red tiles works better, or would you go with a gold? No, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, I suppose the silver would look nice on this, but then they all do. And then, of course, you've got, it's not just the white, silver and gold and the metallics. You've also got the jelly rolls main colours. You can get matte colours, which we've used in tiles in the past. So like purples and blues and greens. And, of course, you've got the brights. Although I think the brights jelly rolls probably work better on the pastel coloured tiles. So like using the Sweets bright pink is fantastic on a pastel pink tile or a yellow tile. It looks, or the orange on a yellow tile. So many possibilities. And of course this is why you've got tiny tiles, so you don't have to commit to a full-blown full-size tile. You can just use a smaller one and just sort of do a practice and see how it works. And then of course you've got your practice books, so you can try things in there as well, or you can make notes or try different colours and stick them in there so you've got a reference. So many things you can do. There we are. You see, I'm not going to completely fill the space. There we go. Might actually just sort of get one in here. There we are. Okay, so there we are. We've got a bit of a theme going on today. Okay, let's do this one. So same as before, I'm just coming on in with this squarish design. There we are. And then same on here. Okay. I like drawing these, they're really nice to do. It's sometimes I like doing the swirls, but this is a little bit of a different take on it. And of course you could do longer ones, they don't have to be squares. It's whatever you want to do with it. You could even do ovals. thought I've got a bit of a squarish theme going on today. There. And to this one. There we go. Alright. Okay. And then on the other one, I'm going to go again for the largest part there, which is this one. Now we know that they're all going to be slightly different. That's okay, so that's what we wanted. So not to worry about that. Oh, you know, you could have just done one big one. You know, like the swirl that we did the other day, we could do a square like that. That'd be worth trying if you're up for a challenge this weekend. You do this design, but use the tile from Wednesday and see how that looks. That'd look amazing. Certainly once it's been shaded in the same way as the spiral. There you go. All right. And then, okay, what are we possibly going to do in this one? There's not much space there to work and do anything at all, is there? So how are we going to work it? I think what we'll do, I'm just going to come in and create a bit of a grid. Not too big, because obviously, you know, you've got to think of the space there. And it's not worried about whether it's angled or not, doesn't matter. And then, yeah, little lines down there, just to create a little bit of a grid going on there. And I'm just going to fill in. Now when you're filling in, just take your time with the gel pen and don't go back over what you've done. So the whole idea is that you do a very slow sort of zigzag motion. And hopefully cover what you need to. If you've missed a bit and you think, oh, I need to go back, I'd let it dry and then I'd go back in again and do another layer later. That would be my advice, but you know, there we go. So same on this one. Again, I'm just going to change the angle slightly, and that's just down to where I've got the tile as I'm drawing. You can do it all straight or diagonal if you want to. Okay. And you see, I'm holding just the outer edges there because I really don't want to smudge any of my work. And here we go again with those sort of zigzags. Because they're quite small spaces, it's not too bad with a gel pen. I wouldn't for 1 minute try and colour a massive space with one. Just a little bit, okay. And do we have any more space? Now we've got a couple of tiny little bits here, you see? So let's just sort of make it look like we've got a bit of a grid in, but you're not going to see much of it there. Bit of a stripe really, and the same here. Okay, and again just gonna fill in those gaps. So you've got a little dot there. I'm gonna leave it. All right, okay, so we've sort of filled in, we've got all the white, and now the idea, we just want to make sure that that is gonna be dry. Remember we started on the inside. So I'm going to come on in with my regular black pen and I'm going to go a little bit larger. And let's have a look at the centerpiece. Okay, just to be sure, I'm going to just turn it so I know that I've got a piece where, you see there, it's a little bit drier than the others. Okay, and I'm going to just, I'll just draw around the inside of these dots, and of course you don't have to use the black, you can use a different colour gel pen if you like. And I know it's not particularly going to show up on the camera, but you see where you've got these little lines there? Look, let's do that one. Let's go over them. You see where it just sort of cleans it up a bit? But you do see it, you know, when you're looking at your own tile. See in there. Okay. And then I'm just going to draw a line on the inside edge of that white line there. Okay, and you just sort of, let's have a look. You can just see it there. But again, this is not 100% necessary, but it's just adding that extra layer to what we're drawing here. There we go. So I'm going to go on the inside of each of those shapes. Just focus on it. It's as close as you can. It's not just to neaten it up. You can actually see it. It's giving it a little bit of shadow effect without shading. There we go. Same here, and again, I'm ever conscious that I don't want to be leaning on my tile, just in case I smudge it. So you feel free to turn it if you need to. No need to rush. Just take your time. Okay. Debbie, this would work with any colour tile. If you've got a dark one, then use a white pen. If you've got a regular tile, use a black pen. It doesn't matter. Okay. So I'm just going to look at this time the outside of this line and just sort of follow it down. You can see there it looks like it's sort of breaking it up a little bit. Okay. Now if you are on a regular tile and you've used a black pen throughout, then for this section you could use a different colour pen, or you could just go back over some of the lines. It just thickens it up a bit, so you're getting a little bit of texture there. Okay, so I'm going to do this bit at the same time. There we go, see this one now it's dry, and put it over the top. And then same with this one. I'm just following it round. Just sort of where that white line is. Really got to focus on that. There you go. And same on this side. And again, just make sure that that gel pen's dry before you go over the top of it. Alright, there we go. Go up to there. And then there's my line in there. Turning it round. Because I do like using white. It's lovely. Something really, I love doing tiles, but there's something really different about using a white pen. But you definitely need to try it on a grey tile if you've not done that before. Because obviously on the grey you can use both colours, both the black and the white, and you'll see both. It's amazing. Of course, as I said earlier, a gold gel pen looks amazing on a grey tile. So many possibilities. Depends what mood you're in. I think if you're in a bit of a low mood, having a really bright tile makes all the difference. Let's see. Kind of like this one. This is going to go with my red tile sample that I did to make sure that we were going to get this done. There we go. So of course, let's have a quick look at that. There we go. So some of it's sort of added a little bit of definition. You can see here now you've got separate sections. So I'm just going to come on in and I'm going to go around the outside. Now remember, we talked about doing straightish lines in a previous tile, and it's all about moving the whole arm with your hand rather than just trying to move your hand separately, because it's going to want to naturally do a curve. We want a straight edge. And then next one. There we go. Okay, gosh. Rose, red tiles. I think so. I think I have. I'll have a look in a little bit. But, yeah, okay. So you see I've got these extra gaps here. Now of course you can come in with a slightly thicker pen if you want to. What have I got? I've got my brush here. There we go. So anywhere there's sort of a gap, I'm going to just come on in and fill it with a black. See? Now again, it's not going to make a massive impact for you looking at it on the camera because I'm on a dark tile, but it does make a difference. There we go. And if I go over any of the white, it's fine. I can come back and draw it back in if I need to. It's not a problem. Okay. So on to the next little bit. And again, like here, I've got some little gaps. Just going to fill them in. Now, of course, if you're working on a regular tile, it's a good idea. You can fill them in with black on that one. This one, see, I've got quite a space there. There we are. And let's do that one. This one here. So I know this week we've really focused on, I suppose, more grid-like structures. Even though Wednesday's was a bit of a curl, it was still a structure that you could draw in, almost a grid. And so is this one, and I've kept it to relatively simple tangles, but you can actually make it as difficult or as challenging as you like, depending on what tangle you use in it. But I think it's nice to just remind ourselves that we don't have to go really technical to get something really amazing. So, Louise, again, I might have a few in stock. They're sort of, you know, when we did shows, I've got a few little bits and pieces. If you want one, I'll have a look for you. But they are really nice. But yeah, you get them. You can get them in sets as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring in my pencil. And again, you just got to make sure that all this is completely dry before you start putting pencil over the top. So I'm going to focus not necessarily on the individual shapes, but here on these. And what I'm going to do is put plenty of pencil over the top of everything I've done there, following that curve. And again, apologies if it's a little bit dark, you sort of can't see. Okay, there we go. You see what I've done? I've been quite sort of heavy with it. And it's a little bit wider than perhaps I would normally go, but that's part of it today. Okay, and then the same on this side. You see it quite on the white there. Okay. All right. Okay. And then the same, the next one. Completely over what you've drawn underneath, which is why you've got to make sure it's dry. Same on this one. There you are. You can sort of see it now. You can, when you have a look at it from there, it's looking quite shadowy. That's what we want. Just shows that you can actually still put graphite over it when it's a dark tile. Even though you think, oh, you wouldn't see. It does give off a bit of a sheen. So when you look at your own tile, you will see it. Okay. Same on this one. Again, I'm putting quite a bit on, so I am using the side of the pencil. So in case you weren't sure, you don't have to use the point. There you go. Okay. All right. In with the tortillon then. I'm going to look a little bit larger. There you go, so you can see what I'm doing. It's similar sort of thing as we always do with the tortillon. You're just going to soften the edges. See, just a little with that edge. So I'm not going right to the edge there. I'm just going on that top section there, just where the pencil stops and the paper's exposed. Just sort of softening it off a little bit. Nothing crazy, okay? And I'm going to do this side of it at the same time. so we keep track of which bits we've done. Okay, turning it round, same again. See, it's not going to need a massive amount. I mean, if you were on a lighter tile, maybe you need to do a little bit more, but this is quite a nice one to do, just to not have to shade it a massive amount. Okay, it's done that one, done that one. There we are. So working my way around. So straight across everything we've drawn. Doesn't really need that much. All right. Okay, so that's that so far. So I'm now, let's have a look at that. There we go. See, you've got a bit of shadow in. I'm gonna do the inside of that white line as well. Not so much, not as wide as I have done with the others, just sort of giving it a little bit of a shadow in there. See? And the same over here. Okay. So colour-wise then, I could come in with a white, but do you know what? I think I'm going to do something a little bit different, being that I've got a sort of a bluey, it looks purple, but it is a dark blue tile. I'm going to come in with a light blue pastel. And what I'd like to do here, I think, I'm gonna come in the middle. Let's just make it a bit larger. And let's just sort of add a little bit down there. And then bring it out a bit. So it's like a little letter L or a little V, whatever you want to see it as. I'm going to do the same on all of them. Okay. And there. So you're only going to see little bits on the end, but I want to follow it through. Okay. And then because I want, there we go. Because I want these to stand out a bit more than this, I'm going to have a bit of a contrast there. So contrasting wise, well, I could go for an orange. An orange and blue would be quite nice. I could use the orange. Or something slightly more harmonious is I could maybe go with a green. So decisions. I think I'll go with the orange. And what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to add a little bit. See, sort of on the one side of there, I'm not going to get much in, but you see, just adding that touch has made a bit of a difference. So stick to the same side so you can't get any in anymore. The same again. Of course, you know, these other bits, they're in shadow, we can still add a little bit on. There we go. A little bit, look. But then this one. There we go. You see, it just brings it up just that little bit. Now, ideally, it'd be nice to be able to say we usually use a clean tortillon for this, but because it's got a lot of graphite on anyway, it's not going to make a huge difference. So I'm just going to very gently soften it out just a little bit. You see, very, very little amount. It's almost like I'm just touching the edges just to give it a little bit of a clean off there. Of course, because it's chalk, it does need that, or else it's just a bit of dust. And it's not so. It's on the paper. It's not in the paper. And then, of course, on this one, just nice and gentle. Just gonna. So I've just started here. It's like a zigzag. Just created that little bit of shadow there. Nothing much. Nothing crazy. All right, let's have a look at this. Okay, so kind of nice, kind of like that. What I am going to do now is, you see just where these squares have lost the definition a little bit? It's only because of the shadow. I'm just going to come back in now and draw in that little bit of the shape again, just to sort of bring it back to where it was. Just that there. Okay. And then let's have a look. This bit too. A little bit there. And then, so this is why, you know, when it's dry, you can go back over it and it's fine. There we are. Okay, I'm just going to come back in with my black pen, not my brush. Lindsay, you don't ever have to have a new tortie on until you can't hold it anymore. You can just keep filing it. Just sometimes, you know, if you feel that you need a little bit of a new tortie on, then have one. Okay, so I'm going to come back in, and because we've gone over this black pen with the graphite, I just want to redefine it. There we are. And I'm not going to come in and redefine the white, I'm just going to do the black, just along these little bits. Just to sort of reinforce the fact that this is on the top. And it's in front of everything else. And then of course it's going to push the shadow to the back. So it's all about that, creating depth again. There we go. So just into this one. Okay. Just the same with this. And of course you can do exactly the same if you've got a regular cream tile. It's just sort of, it's almost like I'm just thickening the lines, I'm just redefining. And you can do exactly the same with yours. Go. Just take your time with it. You want to keep that white line as well, although that's sort of in the background, you still want to keep it. There we are. Just a little edging it round each time. Okay. See, I've lost a bit of my white there, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. There's plenty of white on it. There we are. One more. Louise, if you use a pencil, if it's not really light, then you can't rub out the pencil afterwards. Your white pen should go over the top of it all. If there's any extra, you know, if sometimes you don't quite get it on the line, you're not going to be able to rub it out. So if you can, I'd go straight in with a white pen. If you really feel that you can't, then just be careful with it and go in with a very light pencil first. Okay, not too bad. I'm going to just bring that orange back in, and I'm just going to touch up. It's almost like giving it another layer. Just in those either side there. See, just adding a little bit more. So plenty of graphite on that now. We're just sort of wanting to get a couple of things just to stand out. So we've sort of drawn them and then we've knocked them back. And then we've brought them back out again. Oh, hey Maz. Yeah, sure, if you message me, I'll get that. I'll do it before I leave the office today, because I know I make you wait sometimes. I do apologise. There you are. Okay, and I think again I'm just going to come back in with the blue. You know, it's just like adding that second layer in. Just a little bit. See, I'm not covering the whole thing. I'm just sort of doing a smaller shape there. We just want that to stand out a little bit. Okay, I can put a little bit in there, like. Okay. All right, so you can see now, look, where the black pen sort of worked inside there. And of course I could have put black pen in there too. I didn't want to sort of completely overdo it. And with having that extra bit of black pen now around the side of these shapes, yes, Rose, the koi's would work superbly on this. You could do that, absolutely. Because you've got that pearlescent, it'd be lovely. Don't put too much water on, actually. Go with the pearlescent as a slightly thicker, and that would be absolutely fantastic. I'm using pastel pencils at the minute, but you can do a similar thing with regular pencil, as well. It just means you can't blend them like I do with a tortillon, but absolutely go ahead and do that if you want to. So, yeah, okay, I'm just going to bring that pencil in just to sort of darken up that centre bit. Okay, again, it's all about just having that extra little bit of time to come on in and just add a little bit of an extra level to it. You see, just by adding that in, you see how it's made it suddenly look a little bit more in front of the rest of it. So it's all about just going in with the depth and adding those extra bits and pieces. So I think, no, I'm not going to touch that. I could put, I'm going to put that white line back in. Just because I can see it and I need to do it. All right, so I'm just going to take my time. All right, because I don't want to lose the black. And I don't want to sort of make it look like I've added it. I'm just going to do it where I need it. That's better. Just needed that bit there. And then again, just sort of that side of it with a black pen. Okay, all done. There we go. Now you can keep working this as much as you like. I know, Nadia, I can't help it. But I am faffing. But look, I'm happier now that white line's back in. And that's a nice thing. You can sort of look at it and come back to it. And of course, it looks completely different. If we were to do this on a regular white tile, it will look different. But because we've gone on a dark one and we've used that white pen, it's made all the difference. But of course, then bringing the black in and using a regular pencil to shade gives it that little bit of structure too. And then, of course, if you don't want to use colour, you don't have to. But just adding that touch in, certainly with going with the opposites of the colour wheel, it's made a bit of a difference. So I do have, that's my blue one. I do have one that I didn't do any colour on. I've just kept it sort of monochrome. But I've used one of Leslie's red tiles. There we go. So, all right. Slightly different, but the same, if that makes sense. We've got these same little patterns in here. You can sort of see the black a little clearer. And then I've used little bubbles instead of using squares. But you can see the difference. And just by trying a few little bits and pieces out, you can make it, and you can make it work for you. So just one more thing to do. We just need to sign it as ever. So here we go. And yeah, see, I think I need to sign both of them, don't I? So there's my blue one. I need to sign my red one, or else the elf will pinch it. Yeah, I'm going to do it on this side. It's a little bit thicker there. There we go. The elf is more than capable of creating her own tiles. She's very good. There we are. Okay, so yeah, I know Louise, bubbles on that one. But I thought I'd do something a bit different and do square. So the choice is yours. Depends on whether you want to add a bit of colour, you want to try a different colour tile, use a white gel pen, and yeah, absolutely. Oh, thank you, Rose. That's lovely to hear. But yeah, have fun with this one. Try it with some different tiles, just different colours, and try it with some different tangles. No, Leslie, down. So have fun with it, enjoy, and don't forget, get your tile swap in. Doesn't matter. However you think, oh my goodness, I'm not good enough. You are fine. You'll be fine. Just give it a go and get it sent in. You've got till the 5th of July. If you're not sure, go back and have a look at the video that we did. It was last Monday, and have a go. They're fabulous. What I'm seeing here, absolutely fabulous. So have a lovely weekend. Enjoy doing this one. And I will speak to you again on not Monday. No, not Monday. On Wednesday at 2:00. So everybody stay safe, take care, have a good weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye.